What about don't forget Leia, man?
Oh yeah, Leia's space thing, isn't it? She flew, yeah.
Yeah, that's going back to the Last Jedi. And like I said, we can slew Last Jedi all day long. We can just talk on the where Last Jedi flopped all day long because I didn't even mention the Mary Poppins thing that Leia did, which is obviously all over the web, innit? But getting back to the Rise of Skywalker, a question I wanted to ask you guys: did you get any inkling at all that Leia did training with a lightsaber from the previous two films?
Nah, nothing.
When they did a flashback and it showed Leia and Luke on Endor training with the lightsaber, was there any indication that that's the levels Leia went to?
Yeah, but it's still feasible though. It's not unrealistic.
Whether or not it be feasible, it's always going to be feasible. But did they allude to it, or did you know that Leia was on those levels? And if she was, then the Force Awakens itself could be rewritten, man. If that's the levels that Leia went to, if Leia trained with a lightsaber and got to a certain level and then obviously had a premonition and she stopped her training because she saw that her offspring would die as a result of being turned. If they came with that premise in the first film, I would have been all in. I would have been like, yeah, I would have been right. If they literally showed that little scene where she was training with Luke, I would have given The Force Awakens a rating higher than 7.5, which I gave it, because that would have sucked me in. I'd be like, okay, right. Luke and Leia, the Jedi twins, just based on what you were saying with the expanded universe. Those were the Jedi twins. That would have gassed me more, thinking that Rey is another twin, like she got another twin out there, or what's his name? Ren was her counterpart. Ren was her sort of doppelganger. Ren was her opposite, like yin and yang, innit? That would have gassed me more. But for me, I thought, nah, you can't just fling that in and show Leia training with a lightsaber, for God's sake, innit? Like that's got to be explained. Like why was Rey trying to seek out Luke if Leia has been to that level of training? But anyway, I digress.
I see what you're saying.
Original moments, right? Apart Wheezy,
I said that.
He said, the Force lightning and the level of the strength of the Force in Rey in terms of her holding the ship. Anthony, have you got any original moments apart from that, or in addition to that?
When Leia took over my man, innit? Subdued him for a while, and obviously it took all of her strength to do it. But when she subdued him, I ain't seen that before.
Who? What character? Do you remember?
Was it her son?
Yeah. When she subdued Kylo.
Yeah. What, in that same scene?
Yeah. When it took all of her power to do it, but I don't know I don't even know what to call it, because I've never seen it before, innit?
Yeah.
But she got in his head, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she knew it was gonna kill her, innit? But she did it the same way.
Yeah, fair enough.
That was original for me.
Yeah, that's definitely original. The original moment for me was good, but it was more bad than good, because it was a scene where she actually healed somebody. Like she healed that snake, that sand snake thing. Like for me, innit, like it was original because obviously we've never seen it done before, but they can't just start flinging in new Force powers in the third film. Like, at least allude to it. Like, at least build it up. Like, all of a sudden, she's bringing people back to life, and she's like, what the they're taking people for dickheads, bro.
It would have been more believable if it happened in The Last Jedi and Luke did it
at
or something.
Least, exactly. So at least you know it was plausible, or it's possible. Or if they even subtly mentioned it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, she's healing snakes. Like,
but throughout the whole trilogy, she was just doing stuff, like I said, just off instinct, innit?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. She was just doing it, man. She just knew what to do.
Yeah.
Like I said,
they have to give her something, innit? Because she's supposed to be the same level as Luke, innit? Technically.
The only thing that salvaged that is when later on in the film you found out she was related to Palpatine, because Palpatine always said that there's ways of bringing people back to life and there's ways to stop people from dying. That's the only way they salvaged the healing thing for me. And even that didn't salvage the whole concept 100%. Because I still think it was lazy. It was just a cop-out to say, okay, we'll write this in, we'll write that in. But if they mentioned it in the first two films, I would have given them a higher rating, because at least you knew, or it was possible that this could happen. Do you see what I'm saying? They didn't build it properly.
I think I know what you're saying, but you could argue that case about anything
Bruv,
original, innit?
the chick brought the man back to life, bro.
No, but you could argue that about anything original, innit?
How? Go on.
How can man making his own lightsaber? How?
No, that's a Jedi thing, bro. A part of being a Jedi is to make your own lightsaber. That's part of the initiation, man. That's what every Jedi does. Every Jedi makes their own lightsaber to be more than a Padawan. Isn't it?
Yeah, but you never ever saw one that
you knew it
was made. You just knew it was happening. You never saw one that was so badly made
Bruv,
that it was
she
incomplete.
brought the dude back to life, bro.
But she's supposed to be levels, bro. You know what I mean? She's supposed to be levels, isn't it?
I've never seen Palpatine bring anyone back to life, man. He's only said it.
Also, we never seen a full-blown Sith Pitney go to the light side, isn't it? I'm just saying
I ain't buying it. Innit? I'm not buying it. For me, that was lazy writing, man.
Well, she's a
you as a writer should know that's lazy
She's a
writing.
natural born Sith.
And that, bruv, a natural born Sith ain't good, man.
Exactly.
Bring it back to life is not a good thing.
Like,
that contradicts what a Sith does.
They're doing all them duppy arts.
It's dark arts and black arts, but bringing someone back to life goes against everything they say in it. They're born to duppy, innit? You see what I'm saying? It did not make sense. If anything, that should be something that Luke taught her or at least alluded to. That should have been the light side of her power.
I just think in the case of Rey, they have all. I know you're saying that they didn't establish that specific power, but in her case, throughout the whole 3 films, she did everything for the first time. Like she done a lot of shit for the first time. When you check it,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Even when the way she squared up with Ren, with Kylo Ren, the way she could communicate with him, that's all first that have never been established before. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give it that kind of leeway.
This is the Jedi Order. This is the Mandem Jedi Council. This is the 3 Anarachs debating and discussing the Star Wars mythos. Yeah, if it's too deep for you, switch off. This is the Mandem take on the Star Wars mythos. Remember that. Yeah, right. My opinion is that was lazy writing, her bringing people back to life, because after that anything goes, innit? If any even the whole thing. I'll tell you what really sort of started winding me up is when she thought she killed Chewbacca, and then within 5 minutes of the film, oh yeah, he's cool, he's on another ship. I was thinking, they're taking the piss.
Yeah, that was a bit.
They're taking the mickey. Like she killed Chewbacca, and all of a sudden, oh no, it's not Chewbacca. He must be on some other ship.
I think it would have been more.
As a writer,
I'd have given more ratings if they were brave enough to actually kill him off.
Yeah, either dead him or don't. Innit? Like it was one or the other. Innit? Like for me, it had to have something that was hard hitting for the saga to have legs. Innit? I'm probably. I mean, I don't know, man.
I can see with that. I can see with that. So you want someone to go in it? Well, I guess they thought Leia was a big enough sacrifice, isn't it?
Well, they had no choice.
What did you make of the CGI? Just quickly
On point.
for Leia.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to. Did you expect to see her in this film before you saw trailers?
Yes.
Because I thought
Because it was unsuspected.
When did she die? Did she die after the first one?
She died during the Last Jedi.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting to see her. I was expecting to be a bag of voiceovers and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as we know, they can do anything now.
Yeah, they can do anything.
De-age, they can age you, do anything in it.
Okay. Have we mentioned favorite moments? I'm gonna say favorite, which is in a good light. Weezy said it was with the lightning. Anthony said it was the battle between Rey and Kylo Ren.
No, what are you talking about?
Okay, what was your favorite moments of the film?
Sidious when he took their power blood.
The life force.
Well, I would have given the thing a 10 if he would have said unlimited power. I would have been gone.
Yeah,
I would have been gone because that's my quote of the whole saga.
Yes.
That's my quote of the whole thing, blood.
Serious? Yeah.
Yeah, blood. Unlimited power. If he ever would have said that, I would have clapped.
Yeah. All day
But
long.
that was my favourite scene in it. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that top.
Like I said, that whole, wherever they were, throne room scene, it was a big scene, innit?
Yeah.
It was. I can't deny it.
I'm not gonna lie, that was my favourite scene. My favourite scene was hearing the voices of the previous Jedis and thinking, that's Anakin, that's Mace. Like in hindsight, they could have showed them, but I thought that would have taken away from the audience thinking, who's that? And they use so many different voices, like, that's definitely Anakin. Like I like that part. That's the only part in that film that actually gave me goosebumps when all the previous Jedis, and it weren't just from the films, it was from the games. It was Ahsoka Katana from Clone Wars. You heard every voice right across the board, from the expanded universe, from the CGI Clone Wars series. I recognize the voices because I watched the Clone Wars with my kids, and I recognized the voices straight away. I was like, that's the only part I was sort of gassed with because
Felt like Avatar, man.
yeah, basically, innit?
Felt like that.
Basically, that was the part I was more gassed about. Yeah. What do you guys think of the actual demise of Palpatine? The way she deaded him, the way she duppied him. Do you think that's convincing? Because this is something I brought up in the group.
What did she do? What did you use?
She basically
lightning,
used
innit?
2 lightsabers and pushed his Force lightning against him. Like, do you think that's an adequate ending for Palpatine?
It's probably not the end of him though. Like if they want, they can keep him alive again, isn't it? It's
Yeah, when I think about it now, I can't see how that's really gonna finish him off, innit? 'Cause if he's just a Force presence, how's obviously, but he took body. Didn't he like take? I don't know, human form again.
Well, this is the thing. He used,
Wasn't he Flash again?
I think I think in the film they meant to say that he used their life force to replenish the body that he was inhabiting.
Yeah.
But again, just like you're trying to say, innit? Destroying that body doesn't guarantee that you're duppying him because that's been proved before. So for me, it wasn't final enough. Like it wasn't. I wanted to see. I don't know, innit? I wanted to see Force ghosts being dissipated. Like I wanted to see that level.
This is a random question that's made me think. Yeah, where do Sith forces ghosts go? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good unanswered
Like,
question.
you see the Jedi go to the never realm of the Force, innit?
Right.
So where does
Okay.
Sith go?
that nice forest, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Chewing
Yeah?
that forest.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna get you guys rating for the ride we call it the rise. We say the fall of Skywalker. I'm gonna get you guys rating, and then I'm gonna ask each of you what is the biggest unanswered question throughout these 3 films that you're dying to know. So first of all, I'm gonna get your rating. I'll start with Ant. What's your rating for the Rise of Skywalker, bro?
It's got to be better than Last Jedi, innit? But to be honest, I still haven't rewatched it.
That says it all, mate.
Yeah, so
So just be wary.
I need to give it a rewatch.
Be tactful with your review,
I'll say just on the good memories, I'd give it a 6.5, 7.
That's after watching it.
Yeah, that's after watching it. Yeah,
7.
yeah 7.
Weezy. What's your rating?
When I come out of the cinema, I was like I said, I was surprised. It was, my summary was when I came out of the cinema, it was better than I thought. That was basically right. It's better than I thought.
Yeah.
I knew overall I didn't like the whole story arc, but I was surprised. I enjoyed watching the film at that time.
Wicked.
But I think I gave it a 7.
7.
Yeah, 7.
None of us mentioned Lando, you know.
Fuck Lando, man. Lando's some.
Come on, Chewie.
Yeah, Lando's with the same straight perm, man. They got that straight perm last millennium, man. Lando, bruv. I'm giving this film. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie in it. I can't agree. I was trying to think of a reason to give it lower in it, but yeah, I'll give it a 7. It's the best film out of the 3.
Do you know what?
It salvaged. It didn't salvage the whole trilogy, but it was the best film out of the 3. Innit? I'll give it that at the very least. Innit? Just for the fact that they brought back Palpatine.
I can't say it's the best out of the 3 though. But
Serious? What film's better than?
No. What the first one represented was hope for the other 2 in it. So for me, it was better when I first watched it. You know what I'm saying?
You need to watch that again. Bro.
No. If you're saying when I come out, because all of these ratings are when we come out of the cinema, isn't it? Or after we watched it.
I came out of the cinema thinking this is the best out of the 3 all day long, easily.
No, country man. As I explained in it, there was still hope after the first one that they could still.
But that's my point with the first one. The first one was a tease. Everything that was good about the first one was pissed on in the second film.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm saying I can't say this is better than the first one because I still felt good after the first one. This one is final now. You're not going to get any more.
Okay, all right, one by one. Anthony, what is your best film out of The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Fall of Skywalker, aka The Rise of Skywalker?
I would say the first one.
Damn. So, and this is going on wax, you know, rude boy. Anthony is rating The Force Awakens the best film out of the new Star Wars franchise.
The best of a bad bunch.
Don't try ad-libbing, bro. Don't try to put sugar on top, man.